All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back for another episode of your favorite podcast, The Mix Behind the Mic. I'm Harry McCluskey with my co-host, Keith DeAngelis, doing our first virtual for me and Keith. What's up, my
I
guy?
like it. And I have no power. My power goes out on our first virtual. So we'll see how this works. I'm
So I'm in
connected to my
Florida.
phone's Wi-Fi right now.
I'm in
So
Florida, Keith's in PA, and we're scheduled to do this. And let's be honest, we've scheduled this for 4 days in a row to do this.
I
And
think it's been like over a week, to be
we're
honest
finally
with
here
you.
to do it, and your power's out at your house. Like, how perfect is that?
I have a
But
lot of good natural light coming in where
I was
this
just
little
going to say
spot
the
I found.
lighting looks pretty good from my aspect of things. So
Videographer, you got to find the
we'll see.
spots
Yeah,
sometimes.
it must
That
be it.
pocket of light, as Drew would say, right?
It's perfect. Speaking of being in Florida and we're a wedding podcast, anyone that knows me knows how much I love being a dad and love my kid. But what do people do essentially after they get married, Keith? They
Have
have
kids?
kids. They have kids. Okay. Maybe reconsider having children if you're not ready to go to Disney in July with your 6-year-old who has ADHD, because it's not for the weak. I
Was it
feel like I
fun?
got hit by a train. It was it fun. It was amazing for my son, which makes it great for me.
I think
Was it
6 is a good
long
age
in the
where he'll
middle of it that
remember
I
them.
hate life? What's that? Core
I
memory,
think
better.
6 is a good age where he'll remember. We took Doris. I think she was like 3. She has no idea. We
Yeah,
show her
she has no
pictures.
idea.
She's like,
I
"Oh,
think it's hopefully a core memory. I kind of hate that I have so many memories with my kid already. They're core memories for me that he'll essentially never remember. And I don't want him to get older, but I feel like there's a certain time that I'm like, when is he going to start actually remembering the things that happened with our family?
So I'll
So
say this. Being as I have adult children now and they are telling me things, I realize that the scarring of the kids is what they remember the most.
right.
The little things they're like, "Oh my God, you threw away my dollhouse because it was old and we
Right,
were done
right.
with it." And that's what scarred them
So
versus like, all the vacations. Like,
we're
no.
about to leave last night, and I go up to this woman and I go, "Hey, can you tell me where to get the lifesavers?" P.S. Light, Light savers.
Light. Yeah, because
Light.
it's
Okay,
light.
just confirming. That's what I
I think
thought.
we might have to cut
My
this
kid
part.
asked me, he's like, "Is it life?" I'm like, "No, it's light." Anyway, they're like, "Oh yeah, so you can get them at this store right there." And I was like, "Okay," because we're trying to hit it on the way out. And she's like, "Oh, you can't leave at 8 o'clock, at 9 o'clock. This like thing with the sky and
Oh, you
drones."
don't
And
know
I'm
about
like,
like every Disney park has like an
"That's their own
ending of
thing,
their night.
right?" Okay, so I'm thinking like, why did she just
Hollywood
tell me that?
Studios, what's that? The
Hollywood
one with the
Studios.
boat in the middle?
Yeah. So anyway, she tells us all this, and I'm like, we're leaving. We're all set to leave, and all we were gonna do is get ice cream. And I go up to this guy, and he's like, "Yeah, man, it's 8:30. Like, there's not many places you can get ice cream." And I'm like, "Awesome." I've been telling my kid all day, not until we leave, not until we leave. And then he goes, "You know what? Hold on." He goes inside, comes back, and hands us 3 cups of ice cream, vanilla mix. And I'm like, I throw him a 20. He's like, I can't. I'm like, bro, take the 20. You just made we're out of here. We're not staying for the show. It couldn't get any better. And we left. We called.
That guy might get fired
I
with all
know.
the cameras they have
Oh,
around
and
there,
then
and you're
and then
slipping
my
the
kid
money.
goes, to his grandma, Glammy, we just got free ice cream from that guy over there. And I'm like, Harry, shut up. Like, you're gonna get him fired. Like, stop. So let's jump in. And I want to talk about some interesting things that I've been waiting for us to do this pod, because we're not in the business to bash vendors, venues, whatever. And I'm not going to say names today, but I want to talk about a very specific experience that I recently had at a wedding, and I feel like it's definitely worth discussing. So here's the full story. I think you know some of it, but I just kind of want to reiterate. So I worked with a violinist at 2 weddings, and he did cocktail hour. I seen him did an okay job. And we've been booking more and more live musicians. I reach out to said violinist, and I told him I need him for an event. And he told me that he required $100 deposit, which I don't do with any of the musicians that we work with for weddings. And he said he wanted $100. So I said, okay, we'll give this guy $100. Like, it is what it is. We'll just
The
see
one
how
thing
it goes.
about that is sometimes when you're hiring someone who isn't really like an in the mix guy because you got to, yet, sometimes they're a little
He's got to trust me like I got to trust him. Right.
right.
So again, me giving him $100 of good faith, I thought, okay, like it is what it is. Right. So I give him $100. I want to say this was in like July or August. And the wedding was for October, I want to say. And this was last year. And I give him the $100. He tells me he's locked in. We're good to go. We have a system online. They fill it out, they sign in and confirm the date, and we're set. So that all happens. And because it's our first time working together, the first, that Monday, the wedding was that weekend. And not even that Monday, that Wednesday, I checked in and I said, hey, guy, just confirming we're all set for the wedding on Friday. And 12 hours later, he emails me back and says, oh, sorry, no, I booked another wedding. And I'm like,
That's what
what?
the 100's for.
That was what the deposit was for, right? Like,
Right.
so he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I booked another wedding. And I'm like, buddy, I don't know how that's possible. Like, you asked for a deposit to lock yourself up, and it's 36 hours away from the wedding at this point.
So what do you think? He was getting paid more from the other one, obviously? It has to be,
100%.
right?
He probably booked a wedding on his own, made more money, and pretty much screwed me and the bride. And the worst part about this conversation is if I don't send the text to confirm, was he just never going to follow up with me and
Right.
literally not only screw me, but screw a bride on her wedding
Totally.
day?
He's
So
not going to show up and it's going to look like, oh, I didn't know, or
at that moment, he's completely cut from me. I'll never reach out. I'll never talk to him again. Like, he's dead to me, if you will. Okay. So that happened. And I want to say that was last September, October, if you will.
did you get the 100 back?
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, yeah, wait. I'm sorry. I did. He sent me the 100 back right away.
I feel like the viewers needed closure on that because I
No,
would
that
be
makes
like,
sense. That makes sense. So he sends me the 100 back that day. End of story. But like,
okay,
again, to me, he's dead to me.
yeah,
Okay. So fast forward a couple months, and I hate to out myself when I say that I've been in this business so long where there's so many times I'm friends with brides, and now I'm friends with brides' moms. Okay. So a friend of mine has a daughter who, again, Facebook's a weird thing in this world where I've been friends with this girl for probably 15 years. And when I met her, she had a 10-year-old kid that I have followed the mom posting throughout the years. And now the kid's 25 and getting married. So shout out to the mom. Mom referred me, had a meeting with the couple. Really great. We booked them. In the consult, when I'm talking about the services that we offer, I mentioned that we do live music. And she tells me that she already booked a violinist
hence
for
this
her
guy.
ceremony. So, of course, I'm going to say, oh, okay. Who did you book? She tells me it's this guy. And I'm like, now, I'm never one to bash another vendor. You'll never see me post things negative on social media. You'll never hear me talk negative to any potential bride if they're comparing other companies, other people, etc. Just not my style. I won't do it. I think, even though I told you I'm not going to out him today on this pod, I think it's very close to it needs to happen because I'm just baffled. So, because it's my friend's daughter, I'm going to tell her about my experience and that she should be careful and that there's just lots of red flags about everything that happened with my story with this individual. So she's like, oh, that's like kind of crazy and scary. I already paid him the deposit. She told me that she paid more than I did essentially for the deposit, which makes sense. And that was that. And this was 5, 6 months ago, actually longer, if you will. It was not long after the incident that happened with him. So here comes the wedding day. And to be honest,
When was the wedding?
I can, when or where?
When?
It was like a month ago.
Okay.
So I kind of forgot that she hired him. And the day of the wedding, we're there 2-3 hours early, setting up, and I see a sax guy walk in and start talking to the event planner. And I hear the event planner ask if he is blank. And I realize that it's the name of this person. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot this guy is at this wedding. I immediately know, because I know what this guy looks like, that it's not the person. The sax guy was in the wrong room. There was another wedding upstairs, and it wasn't him.
Right. So
So
the sax guy wasn't your guy, was the violin guy.
the sax guy was in the wrong wedding, but the sax guy bringing it up to the wedding planner made me realize that this guy is on this wedding. And I'm like, oh my
Gotcha.
God, I forgot.
Gotcha.
So I go up to the event planner and I said, hey, I'm just curious, like, what time is your violinist supposed to show up? And she she gives me this look, and immediately I'm like, oh my God. So she's like, so the the wedding ceremony starts at 6:30. He's supposed to start playing music at 6, pre-ceremony music, if you will, for the ceremony at 6:30. So my assumption would be that he's getting there between 5 and 5:30 for a 6 o'clock start time. At this time, when I'm talking to the wedding planner, it's about 4:30. Okay. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, what time is your violinist supposed to arrive? She goes, so the bride's reached out to him a couple times this week and hasn't heard from him. And I
That's
was like,
shocking, right?
I'm like, how does that happen? And then I find out afterwards that apparently they spoke the morning of the wedding, and he mentioned that it was further than he thought it was going to be. And he was going to have to pay her an additional $100 for travel,
You
which
mean she
again,
was going to have to pay him?
she was going to have to pay him an additional $100 for travel. And that's mind blowing in itself, because she reached out to him multiple times during the week. It's the day of the wedding,
Not
and
to
now
mention,
he's
like,
at
how far could it be that you were going to need an extra 100? Like, you could, even if it was a little further, $100 a lot. Like,
the day of the wedding. Like,
that's
it's
crazy.
just, again, red flags. Like, what you're telling someone that booked you 6-9 months ago, didn't respond the week of leading up to your wedding, and now the morning of your wedding you respond like, oh yeah, I'm coming, but just so you know, it's further than I thought. I'm going to need additional $100. Okay, mind
Right.
blowing. But again, I didn't hear about that until after the fact. So 6 p.m. music's supposed to start, 6:30 reception. 6:30 ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
So 5:15, no guy. 5:30, no guy. Now they start texting him, no response. I now tell my DJ, and I'm the MC on this wedding. I now tell my DJ, hey, go set up a speaker for the ceremony. I have a feeling something's happening. We're not going to let her be screwed. And I'm like, we just want to be prepared. So he's supposed to start playing music at 6 o'clock again for the 6:30 ceremony. At 5:58, the bride gets a text saying, hey, I'm en route from another wedding. My GPS says I'll be there at 6:42. The wedding ceremony again starts at
6:30.
6:30. Mind blown. So very calm. Go talk to the event planner. She tells me all the songs for the ceremony that are supposed to happen. And I said, we'll just handle it. Now, I really wish that I could have made this so much better of a story, because as I mentioned, there was another wedding upstairs. And it just so happens that one of my favorite violinists that I book was doing the wedding upstairs. And we will shout out Alex, who's been on
Alex?
the
I
podcast.
had a feeling it was Alex.
Alex was upstairs doing another wedding. Now, the way the venue works is, they're different hours, so they can make it work where, nobody's bothered by the other wedding and stuff. And I was like, wow, how can we just make it possible that can we potentially, if Alex was done everything for his wedding,
Right, because you don't want to
formalities and
like
stuff,
pull them off
like
and
in the
ruin
middle
someone
of
else's
dinner.
wedding.
And again, I'm exactly, and I would never want to take someone else's wedding, but I also thought any bride in this situation, I literally said, how do we have him sneak away for him to just play her walking down the aisle? Okay. So we're like, we'll try to make it happen. So it's 6:20. We're playing background music. Everything's supposed to start. I go upstairs and I see that they're like in the middle of the first dance. And I'm like, it's not happening. So I just out of sight, out of mind. I'm like, we're just gonna play the music. 6:30, we start playing the music for them to walk down the aisle. And there's like a little delay and the doors are closed. And I'm like, what are they doing? Like, we already started bringing in like the guys and the groom. And don't let me forget this. I want to talk about the groom's entrance when I'm done this story. But there's like a delay. And again, I find this out after the time is that it's probably six. And again, if anybody doesn't know this by now, a 6:30 ceremony, they're never walking down the aisle at 6:30. So it's probably 6:38 at this point, and there's a delay. And it's because the guy got there. And now the guy is trying to tell the GM that he's like trying to get in there. And at this point, they're like, no, like leave kind of thing. And it's just kind of crazy that he's here. So, long story short, we do the ceremony. I'd like to think that obviously we saved the day, but I'm just so annoyed for this bride. So,
What time
the
does he show
ceremony's
up?
at 6:38, give or take, because that's when she was going to walk down the aisle, and that was the delay of them coming in.
Oh,
So, here's the worst part. I'm so mad at myself that this is all going on. I don't look at my phone. And Alex texts me 3 times like, "Hey, we're done everything. We're in dinner. Like, I can sneak down." And the timing of it could have been perfect. And I'm so mad I didn't look at
it's
my
tough though
phone.
because you're
Right.
trying to
And
get
again,
everything
like
done.
everything was going on. I'm not obviously checking my phone, but it would have been just a cool story. It would have been that much cooler for this pod to say, like, he
Yeah.
came in, saved the day, 30 seconds of a song. Like, I gave him the song. He was like, I got it. I'm familiar. Like,
So
if
was
it was
that
that,
was he only there for the ceremony or was he doing DJ Fusion later on too?
the guy that was booked
Yeah.
for our wedding, just
Y-
the ceremony. So that comes into play
It's just so
next.
bizarre that he's only going to be there for that. He's charging an extra 100. Like it's just the whole story seems crazy to me.
So then he's so determined to stay and play for the cocktail hour now. And I'm speaking with the GM and I'm like, absolutely not. Like, tell this guy to beat it. Like, he messed up their ceremony. She booked him 9 months in advance and planned to have a live violinist playing while she walks down the aisle, and that didn't happen. So, what is him playing the cocktail hour going to do?
Maybe he thinks that she won't be able to ask for money back kind of.
That's where I'm going next. So, he plays cocktail hour. I'm pissed. I'm so annoyed for her. And again, this is my friend's kid. So like I'm so annoyed for her.
Right.
He plays cocktail hour. And again, we were already set up to play the cocktail hour music. I just thought it was completely pointless. And my thought process was he was going to try to not give money back because instead of playing for the ceremony, he played for cocktail hour. So you'd think that's where it ends. It doesn't. So next is the reception. So this guy comes into the reception room and like puts his bag down next to like the DJ booth. And I'm like, and it's, listen, I'm a pure professional. I'm never going to, cause a scene or be rude, but I'm so irate that this guy has the balls to just act like everything's all good. And I'm
Yeah.
so upset for my friend's daughter that, again, she was super cool, calm, and collective about the whole thing. It's just mind blowing to me. But here's the icing on the cake. He was like, I'm going to come play her first dance. No, no, you're not. And he's like, no, no, like I am. I'm like, does she know that? No. What?
How could
So
she not know that? Like you have to have a talk with her.
I
Like
tell the GM, and I'm literally debating on if we're bringing up the venue or not, but I decided we're not going to. The GM's awesome. I love this guy. And he was like, I got this. And he literally was like, you have to go, guy. Like, literally told him to get your shit and get out of here. They don't want you here, buddy. You got to take a hint at some point. So literally he says that to him, the guy leaves. Okay. And I reach out to the bride. I don't bring it up. She says something like one or two times, like, huh, there's a part where they're taking pictures outside and I'm like recording them. And she's like, you told me, Harry, you called it. And like, I don't ever want to be right. Like the whole time we're leading up to this, I never want to be like, I told you so. Like, I'm hoping this guy shows up and does his job. She reaches out to me afterwards. You guys crushed it. Wedding was awesome. Like, it was a really good wedding. And I said, I gotta ask. I was like, please tell me like you got your money back. I don't know how much she charged him. I'm going to guess, I want to say it was $600-700. That's my guess. Whether that's before or after the extra $100 that he asked
Right.
for. Okay. She told me that he gave her $175 back. And I'm like, where does that math come from? Like, where? And she was like, to be honest, I was so over it. I was getting something back. I just cut my losses and just took the 175.
And that's how you
which
probably are at a
again
certain time.
made me so mad again, where I'm just like, how is this allowed? And this is where, again, I'm not gonna, call anyone out on the pod, but it's like, how do people, how is there not like massive amount of bad reviews, brides talking about it, these bride Facebook groups? And I'm just baffled. And this all goes back to like, you got to do your homework with your vendors and who you're hiring and all these things. But I just thought this was a good story to talk about because these kind of things happen all the time. There's so many brides that book one-off individual companies that are a one-person photographer, a one-person musician, that a
Right.
one-person DJ, that, I can't tell you how many times I'm getting, I see things in bride Facebook groups that's like, hey, my wedding's next month and my DJ canceled. Like, how does that even happen? And the answer of it is they have a budget-friendly DJ that they booked, and he's either unprofessional, got offered more money for another job, etc. And that's how we're in this situation.
Well,
But
this guy clearly double booked himself and didn't realize how far it was, thought he could make both, and then that's what clearly happened.
the craziest part about this double booking that you just mentioned is, how dumb is he? Why wouldn't you lie and say there's like you had car trouble?
Why would you ever say you were from another wedding?
Sorry, I'm coming from another wedding. I double booked myself.
It's
Like,
clearly a double booking is what happened. He thought he could do both. He realized where they were, and to be like, you know what's funny about the whole thing? If he would have just said to her, "Listen, I had an issue. I'm going to be a little late. I'm going to charge you 100 less." She probably would have been fine with it. But to charge more and then not show up on time, that is so crazy to me.
There's a million different ways that this could have happened or been fixed. And again, like, I'm not saying it's good to lie to people, of course, okay? But I think there's something massive about, you just said it. Hey, like, I'm so sorry. Something happened. I'm not going to be there until X time. Do we talk to the team? And again, nobody starts 6:30 for a 6:30 reception. It's never normally 30 minutes that they allow. So if we had to start 10-15 minutes late, there could have been different, but this guy was just so unprofessional that it was just mind-blowing. And is he going to be there in 10 minutes late? Like, is he not? Like, is he just saying that and it's actually 20 minutes and now we waited? So
right.
there's just so many things. There's another thing I want to take away from this wedding, since we're just talking about it. And it was perfect that I saw a video this morning on Instagram from their content creator. And the amount of energy and yelling, screaming, clapping for the groom walking in to the wedding by himself was amazing to me. And all we do is talk about the brides. We never talk about the guys. And this is just as much their big day as it is for the brides, and we never talk about the grooms. So I just wanted to stop, take a moment, and applaud the guys and
It's like
the
the last
vibe
day of their, like, you know.
like of their life. No, but it's again, I wish like I almost maybe have you put a clip in of him walking down the aisle of this, but
Do you
like
have the clip?
yeah, I just reposted it on my Instagram today.
Oh, cool.
But it's just pure energy, applauds. I don't want to say like yelling and screaming, but like people were like, woo, like you know what I mean?
Whooping and
Like,
hollering?
sure. How often you see things for the groom. Like it's funny a couple years ago when I feel like maybe we've been starting to give some more recognition to the grooms. Like it's not often a groom has his own song to walk down the aisle to. And I think it's becoming more and more popular. I'm doing one this fall for my cousin's husband's sister, who I've like known her whole life too.
Isn't that a band?
But what's that? Oh
I
my
said,
God,
isn't
that's
that
so
a
great.
band? I
That's
was
so
just
great.
joking.
It's
I
kind of
said
close. Um, but the groom sent me something as soon as they booked. He's like, I want to come out to this. And I'm curious if you've ever seen it because it's kind of popular, but it's a
Yeah.
Michael Bublé song. And there's like a
Which
build up. I can't tell you the name of the song.
Birds Flying
Um,
High? That one? Birds
yes,
flying
yes,
high.
yeah.
You
But
know
like,
how I feel.
yes,
Sun
but
in the
like,
sky.
keep
You know
going.
how I feel.
Please let this be a clip.
Breeze drifting on by. You know
But
how
like,
I feel.
that's all. Like the DJ presses play. That's all playing. He's not walking down the aisle.
Right.
And that builds up into a
It's a new
big buildup.
dawn. It's a new
It's a new
day.
day,
It's a new
and then
life for me. And I'm
I'm
feeling
feeling good,
good.
boom,
Down,
and then
down, down.
that's when they walk in, and like that is the again like energy vibes. That is like people are hype
Yeah.
as that buildup. So it's a 25-second
Yeah,
delay
no,
of
there's a
like,
lot of little build up to it. So that's pretty cool though. So they let that go on and it was kind of just like, would you say it was just hanging a lot of times when stuff's going on in live events and you don't really know what's going on as a guest, you're kind of looking around like what's happening, what's going on. So like was it just hanging there where they didn't know or was he in the doorway? Like how did all that play out like for
are we
people to
talking about this Michael Bublé song?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
So I've done it once before, and to be honest, the maitre d of the venue messed it up, if I'm being honest.
The first time?
And the first, I've only done it once. I'm doing it
Okay.
again this fall. I will not allow that mistake to
Gotcha.
happen.
Gotcha.
But they were behind closed doors, and there's the DJ, me afar, and I'm like directing the traffic from the two.
Right.
And I guess the maitre d just missed the memo and like opened the doors, and it was like not even halfway there. So
Right.
like
And you
the
got to
build
hit that
up, and
mark. That is a
feeling good.
situation where you have to hit the mark. If you don't,
Yes.
it's going to be weird because you're
Yeah.
setting it up and then
So the groom kind of like, I guess he couldn't hear what was playing behind the doors. As they opened the doors, I feel like he was like, "What the hell?" And like he like slowly walked. So when he got to like the end of the rows,
it hit
as
what it
he
was
was
supposed to
coming in,
be.
it hit, and he made it work himself. Which kudos to him for making that
Right.
adjustment. But like,
He
I
had
want
to
the
have
people
known the
to see
song
that.
so that it works.
Right,
You know,
right. But like, I explained it to the maitre d, and it was like, "Oh, the song's playing." Opens the doors, and I'm just like, "Bro, we just talked about this." No, but
I
I
don't even
thought it
know if
was
you
a
could trust the maitre d with that because I mean the maitre d, they're just they just want to make sure everything goes smoothly, but I don't know if they're really down for like technical drops and things like that. I don't know. So I see what you're saying. In the future, you know you're going to do it again. You're going to make sure that it doesn't happen because
I'm going to be at the doors. I decided
right, right.
that
I was just about to
that's
say like you
it
should be
has
at the
to be
doors.
that
I
way.
think.
And I know this couple, so I'm like, we've talked about it. I'm like, it's going to be
I love
100%.
it. I love it. But see, listen, this is what I always say to you. Things like that, little mess ups, I know we don't love them, but that is truly how you become a professional. That's why you don't want, and I'm not saying don't go out and hire a rookie, but you got to realize that a rookie may not realize this one little tiny thing. Whereas a person that's done it so many times that they've messed it up more times than the other person has even done it.
Yeah.
Not that they messed it up a lot, but you understand what I'm saying. Like,
No. And here's another thing that goes without saying too, that all our listeners should really beat in their heads before their wedding days. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Shit is going to happen at your wedding. It's going to. Whether your flowers came out different, someone was late, it rained a little bit, someone messed up your intro song for the ceremony. Some of these things should have never happened, but
your violinist didn't show up on time.
like things happen at weddings. And I know a lot of people are anxious. I know there's anxiety through the roof, but it's something, and I've been doing this lately with brides, and I never want to scare them, but I always tell people, like, there's going to be something that goes wrong at your wedding. It's very rarely just perfect from one beginning to the end. And like from us, the vendor team, DJ Photo and Video, like we want to be on point every time. And, you know, knock on wood, we are very good. And I think our reviews show that. But whether it's things with the venue, the weather, someone's hair, etc., there's always something that goes wrong. You just
Something's
got to
going to go
roll with
wrong. It's how you deal with it,
it.
basically. It's
100%.
the perfect way to explain it, right, for everyone. And I think it's a perfect like analogy for life too, kind of. I mean, that's life.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not just weddings. Something's going to go wrong. It's how you deal with it. I got to be honest. I don't deal with things that well. If it was my wedding, I probably would be one of those like
Here's a perfect example. I did a wedding last year, and the bride came out. It's, before the wedding, and the seating chart set up. And I thought the seating chart looked awesome. She hated it. It's not how she wanted it to be. And she lost her mind. And respectfully, it's a seating chart. It's where people go to sit. Once this cocktail hour is over and they come in, you don't see or look
the
at the
seating chart's
seating chart
irrelevant
again.
after that.
But she had a vision. That's what she wanted. And
And she probably worked hard on it. That's another thing you got to realize.
And that's a
she
great
could have
point.
worked for
And
months
I
on
get
it.
it. But it is what it is. It's not changing. It's here. The wedding is here, and there's nothing you can do about it. I hate to like sound corny and say like don't cry over spilled milk, but like what can you do? And like you just said, for life in general, there's things that are going to happen in your life that you can't control, and it's
Right.
how you react to things. I say this to my 6-year-old every single day of his life. Reactions have
Consequences?
excuse me. What's the line? I say it to him every day, and I can't even
I
quote
mean,
the line right now. Actions have reactions. That's what I say to him often. But like, what can you do? So I don't know. I just feel as though when we talk in these pods and we kind of break stuff down, I think it goes without saying that people really need to swallow a pill before their wedding day, that something might happen on their wedding day, and it's how you react to it, and you can't let it. Now, you want to talk about some crazy things about, someone messing up a first dance, or that's major and that's worth flipping out over. But
I still think that people, it happens, right? Like little mini things,
it's
like it
natural. And listen,
sucks.
you can be upset and pissed for 5 minutes, in my opinion. Like, you have to just let it go, because there's still a wedding, and there's still 4 hours, 5 hours of your wedding at this point.
Right.
So I just,
You're hiring all these people. You want everything to be perfect. You're spending a lot of money. You have expectations. And
sure.
versus reality. And sometimes the reality is it just, you also have to realize it's a live event. At live events, it's just, you can't, it's so hard, especially just being a videographer going around. Something's going to happen where you just don't get the camera there in time. And live events, man, stuff happens, and you just got to kind of roll with it.
So let's flip it on something. And we're almost a year in, kudos to us, of this podcast. So we've definitely, talked about some things before that we might bring up again, but I feel like this is one we haven't talked about in a while, and I wanted to bring it up again because people are talking about kids at weddings more, and I'm seeing stuff again. I put everything back to like these Facebook groups, so I see stuff and the pros and the cons. And for me personally, I don't necessarily care if there's a couple kids at a wedding. I don't think there should be a massive amount of kids ever at a wedding.
It's
But
funny you're
like,
saying this.
why?
The last one I was at, me and Apex turned to each other and was like, "There's a lot of kids here." Like the dance floor was like mobbed with. I feel, and I
How
there
many?
had to be
When you say a lot, how many is a lot? 20?
again. I feel like there was 20 kids there,
Okay.
like
And
20.
when you say 20, are
It
we
probably
talking
was under,
7-year-olds
but
or 14-year-olds?
in between the
Okay.
age of
So
3 and 15, there was
here,
20.
here's my thing. A, your kids, aka the couple, and like your best man, maid of honor's kids, the kids that are in the bridal party, of course, more power to them. For the parents' sake, for the bride and groom's sake, I think there should be a plan immediately for them to leave after dinner and they should be able to enjoy their night. And I will die on that hill. And it's
I
just
think every
very
wedding's different though. There's some weddings that are very kid friendly. They want kids there to family, and that's
so
just
hold
how
on.
it is.
Let's break this down in a couple different aspects.
Mhm.
Okay. I can picture a wedding we did a couple years ago, and I don't know if I mentioned this before when we talked about kids at a wedding, but and you're a videographer, so you can get this. And it wasn't our video team because Perko probably would have had a heart attack, and you might have too. But you guys set up 4 or 5 cameras
Yeah.
around formalities, and there was a kid that was running around during the first dance, and
Uh,
the videographer had 4 or 5 cameras set up, and a kid took out a camera and it just went and fell over, and I was just like, oh, like mortified
you're probably
mid
gonna
first
lose.
dance.
You're probably not gonna lose the camera, but you're gonna lose the lens
The
most of the
lens,
time.
the lens.
Lenses are
So
expensive, man. People don't realize it.
mid
Some
first
lenses are
dance,
$2,000.
and it wasn't their kid. Like if it was their kid, maybe a little bit.
Not
Like,
to
what
mention,
are they
mid
gonna do with
first
it?
dance is where you should probably have the kids somewhat calm.
How is the kid was 2, 3 years old? Like, how is
It's
someone not
tough.
like, this was your job to hold this kid during this 3 minutes? So, like, you take that aspect of things. Um, Again, me personally, I don't care if there's 5 or 10 kids. They're dancing, they're doing their thing. Most weddings today, I don't want to play vulgar. I want edited stuff. I don't want us to look bad by having the F word, the N word played in hip hop songs. I don't want any of that. So it has nothing to do with kids being. It's just more along the lines
Disclaimer,
of,
if you ever hear curse words at weddings and you're not sure, it's never the DJ. It's always at the request of the bride and groom. People
well,
need to know that too.
you should clarify at an in the mix event group wedding if you
Oh,
hear
what you
cursing.
think the other places are?
Oh
I
my,
figure all DJs have to be like
no
that. No.
shot, no shot. This comes
Wow,
down to the
that's crazy to me
professionalism.
then.
I telling you right now, this comes down to the professionalism of, seasoned vets versus rookies doing this. How many bar club DJs randomly get booked for a couple weddings here and there, and they think it's late night, there's no kids here, they're playing curses? 100%
Wow.
that
Yeah, I
happens, and
never
I will
even
guarantee
factored
that.
that in.
Because realistically,
I
how
mean,
many
I never
weddings have
worked for
you been
another
to in the last
company, so
10
I just
years?
assume
Right,
that
right,
that's right.
right. No, that's not. I wouldn't say it's common that everyone does it. I will say most reputable companies
Right. But
probably
no,
do
but
what
you're
you
saying
do.
that there's a possibility of that being the case of
1
someone else.
million percent. I
Right.
literally cringe when I hear it at weddings. If the couples want it and we do them, I definitely cringe. I
I've
only
had a couple
cringe.
where they said on the final call, I think it sounds stupid without the curses in it. I don't care. There's no kids. I want you to play just the unedited versions. And
There's
she
one reason and one reason only for me that I care, and I say cringe, is because I want to book a wedding at every wedding we do. If
right,
there's a couple that is engaged or almost engaged and they're sitting at table 5, they
right.
are they are specifically looking at everything throughout the day. They're reading the DJ, they're checking out the venue, the lighting, they are doing their homework, if you will. And every person there is auditioning. If they're engaged,
Right.
or engaged. And they could love MC Keith on the mic doing the intros. They could love Apex for the DJ. And they're like, wow, we like this company. And as soon as it gets late night and the music switches and they hear a bunch of curse words,
An
it
F
could
bomb,
turn them
they're out.
off. Right. It could completely turn them off and they don't book us. Why would I
Right.
ever want to chance that? So that's really, listen, personal preference. You want curses at your wedding, more power to you. I personally do not care. I care for the brand that
Right.
we might lose or we might not book.
And this
And
and the
before you say
thing that
anything,
and
they
the thing
don't
that
know that it's
right.
us.
Exactly.
I don't say, hey, just so you know, we're going to be playing
Right.
all unedited music today because that's what the couple wants. You know what I mean? So like, and the story I just gave you about this whole violin story, like they wanted all unedited stuff. There's a lot of hip hop, like that's their vibe. More power to them. I wish I could say, just so everybody knows, this is your
Right.
couple's request. And there could be a good amount of weddings where the guests do know that the couple definitely said, like, don't play edited music kind of thing. I just think the kids, going back to the kids conversation, it's irrelevant to me. I don't think people, going back to brides or kids of the bridal party, if you have young children and you want them in your wedding, that makes sense. I love it. But also plan to have a backup for after dinner to
Yeah.
get your young kids out. There's nothing worse than seeing a bride and groom not get to enjoy their wedding because they're being a parent. And listen, my fiance says this phrase a lot, mom guilt. I do understand that, but you just spend all this money. It's one day, it's 5 hours. Dinner's over. They were involved in everything. They're in the pictures and the videos. It is now your time for the last 2 hours, if you
To
will,
chill, relax.
to just chill and be, I don't want to say a date night, but treat it like that because the kids shouldn't be your top
I
priority.
think your wedding is your first true date night. If you really think about it, that's the first last date you'll ever go on as single people. Or don't even listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I kind of like your wedding is your
There's
first
something there, but I
marriage.
didn't nail it. But there's
Yeah.
something in there if we could
I
figure it
was like,
out.
oh, this is no, it's not.
I think we need a whole team of data centers to come up with the answer to what I was trying to.
Um, I'm just, like I said, I just feel like it's not talked about too much. I have one more for today that I
Okay.
thought was worth talking about.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the pod, and we're almost 50 weeks in at this point, but I watched a video the other day and it had tons of views, likes, comments, and it's something I think is worth talking about, which is someone was hating on venues' preferred vendor lists. And I think there's something worth talking about here because they were saying that everyone pays to be on these lists. Everyone pays, and it's not that they're the best of the best. It's that they paid to be here. They're getting paid to be represented. And humble brag for us, I'm waiting for an email back today, actually, that would be our 50th venue that we will be a preferred vendor at. And I'll give you a shout
Nice.
out because you're going to be the reason. Well, you're going to be a small reason. DJ St. James shout out will probably be the bigger reason of why we're getting this next one. But it's the one I showed up to peek at you guys
Oh,
back in May. They told me to reach out at the end of July. Let's get this done. And I'm excited.
we're not saying a name on purpose.
I don't care. Bluestone is what it was.
Okay. I thought it
Some
was that
sort
one,
of
but I was
but here's the thing, 50 is a big number. I'm super excited and super, proud of it. But out of 50, excuse me. Did I say 60? Can
you
we
did.
cut that? 50. Out of 50, we pay to be on one of them. I lied, two of them. And of the two, we do a ton of business at, and I make it back easily. And that's the only reason I don't even love that I do it because 48 of them were not. But now, don't get me wrong. Can that happen at some places? Maybe. But like, I think it's super important to put out there that if you're on a preferred vendor list at a venue, it should be for a couple different reasons. One, the venue has worked with you multiple times. They
Right.
know the experience they're getting with you. Two, you have a good rapport with the team. You know where everything is at the venue to set up. All the things that a random DJ is the easiest one to talk about because where they set up, where outlets are, all these little things help when you have experience working in that venue. So when a couple gets referred to this list, I definitely think if they don't know where to start for vendors, they should start with the oh my God, the preferred venue list. Can you please chop that up for me? I'm gonna say it again. If the couple don't know where to start for vendors, I think it's super important that they at least start with the vendor list to get some ideas of pricing, comparisons,
Yeah.
and me personally, I hate when I've never been at a venue to talk to a couple because can we work at a venue we've never been to before? Of course. But is it that much easier for everybody when we've been there dozens of times and know the staff by name and know where to set up and all these little things that it's just a little bit more peace of mind for the couple the day
Right.
of the wedding. So I don't know. I just thought it was worth bringing up because
No, it's very
I
good.
saw this video that went viral and it was like, don't go by these preferred vendor lists. They're just paid advertisements to be there. And I just thought it was the most false thing. Don't get me wrong, it can happen at some places, but I just feel like me personally, I'm not walking into somewhere and they're like, yeah, well, you can be on our venue list and it costs X amount of money to be there for the year. I want nothing to do with it. Like, it's not for me. It's literally happened recently. And I said, thanks, but no thanks. Like, what am I getting out of it? Now, real quick, just to really dissect this a little bit, is there some venues that I might throw a photo booth or a DJ for an event for free as far as like compensation or a little kickback? Sure. But that's
Right.
completely different from me just handing them free money. Because if I send a photo booth or I send a DJ for one of these events at the venue, I'm still promoting my company. I can still get
Right.
future business back from it, networking, etc., as
It's still
opposed to just
it's still an
cutting them a
audition technically, right?
exactly, instead of just cutting a check for absolutely no reason just because my name's on the list. So
Right.
I just thought it was worth mentioning.
No, that's good
Uh
because I think but there are probably some places that treat their vendor list like that, meaning the venue charges people because they know it's a little bit of an extra it's almost it's an advertisement for the vendor. Did you like
yeah,
how I said advertisement instead of advertisement?
yeah. Was that on purpose? Because I don't know what that word means.
It's the same thing. It's just that there people say that. You
I
never
never,
heard that?
never mind.
Advertisement.
No, I'll write it down. I'll try to use it in a sentence. What else we got today? Anything else?
I didn't really have anything else special. I kind of just figured I would riff off of what you were going off of. I think it played well like this because you know a lot about what you want to talk about, and I usually can add stuff to it. But I didn't really have anything specific that I was, that was burning a hole in
Fair.
my mind. You know,
Well, as excited as I am to do this from the sunshine state of Florida while you're at home with no
I think
electric,
this is a good test though. With the new mics and this, we're gonna see what we really get out of this. Just us doing one. Because the other ones I wasn't really able to test that well. I mean, they went well, but having 3 people, having to work with more
I
it's
like these
more
new
moving
mics we got
parts.
with the
Yeah.
little furs
The little
or
fuzzy
furs.
mics. I
Hey,
guess
hey,
this is
hey.
the fuzzy mic pod.
Is that what we're calling this? I
I
like
we
it.
always have a working title, right?
People, stay tuned. We got some exciting pods coming up. I come home next week. We're recording a
Listen,
ton.
we tried to do this a different way. Let's try
I
it
feel like
this
you
way.
keep getting too close. I just keep looking at your
Yeah, it
headset
is
off.
what it is. We'll see what
Listen,
happens. I
I
know.
hate,
I
I hate you
listen, I'm
about that.
trying to like sit like this because I know, but I'm gonna be like this.
I
Anyway.
haven't allowed myself to get anywhere near close. So
No, this is it. Trust me, you're gonna love this, right? Brides. We are looking for brides that want to come on the pod. All you have to do is sit at your house just like this. We do it online now. We have some things, and we want to know. Tell them, Harry. Like, what are you looking for? Because we tried to put this into a
are we
group
talking pre
on
or post?
Facebook.
Because I know we've talked about both.
I think that you need to figure out like who you're trying to like. Aren't you
I
saying
want us
post
to get
wedding?
I want us to get a series of brides together post wedding, like immediately after their wedding. Like they go to a honeymoon or not, like 2 weeks after, but it has to be a month, no more than a month post wedding, because I want all the details. I want the good, the bad, the ugly, everything about it. And I think it's just going to be so informative for other brides and listeners, brides and grooms. I never give grooms love, but I think that every bride, I don't want to say would probably do one thing different, but like maybe that saved a future bride of something they didn't think about on their wedding. So
This is a new thing that we're bringing up, and we want brides that have done it to help possibly save a bride that's going through it right now, because really that's what this pod's about. We want to help other people, brides, grooms, everybody. And if we can have someone that's been through it, because now that bride's the pro, right? We're always talking about pros
Literally.
versus rookies.
yeah,
That pro bride can now give a rookie bride a little bit of help that might help them through. And I think, you might make it on a clip, and I think it's an awesome idea that we should definitely try. So this clip's definitely going to get out there. We'll see. We'll see what it does.
I dig it. With that being said, I'm out of here. I'm excited to go jump in the pool with my kid.
Have
my
fun in
last
the
couple
pool.
days here. Have fun.
Maybe we'll see each
living
other
like,
again eventually, right?
I want to hear.
Have fun living like an Amish person for the rest of the day.
It's still out.
And
So
I hope you
Maybe
get
he
some
wants to
water
say
off.
something to you for what?
I want to hear mother-in-laws who thought their husband's wife was a bridezilla and all the bad stuff she has to say about her.
Ooh,
So you want like
Ooh.
dirt?
I would
I don't know if we're ready for that yet.
Spicy.
yeah.
She wants
We
the
might-
spicy.
Maybe that'll be after our 1-year anniversary.
We're trying to help brides, not
Right.
spread
Right.
the.
Not break up marriages.
But it just goes to show you that this is what everyone
That's what people want
wants.
to hear in
the
this too. I know.
spiciness.
The tea.
The tea.
That we need the tea pod.
I have the tea right here. Look, in my
love
new glass that my wife got me.
Tell the listeners how cold that tea is that you're having.
Funny story about the tea. She makes the tea for me. We're sitting here and I mute the thing. She comes over and it's like not hot. I'm like, it's not hot. Our power went out, just so everyone that's still listening knows. And
awesome.
that just goes to show you when you take it for granted. I just expect it to be on, even though I'm sitting here. I expect it, and it's not coming back on. We got through the pod. My batteries are drained on my phone and this, but just goes to show you what you can do without power. We've still got some things going on.
We did it. I'm excited.
All right.
We'll see you on the next time. Mix Behind the Mic. We're out of here, people.
Peace.
Right.